was first introduced to Sonic with two games, Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic Colors. I loved Sonic Colors, but I was pretty bad at the game and only got like halfway through. But it was still pretty fun to me anyways. The game looked great and it was really fast-paced. And Secret Rings, the less said about it the better. Back then, I didn't even know Sonic 1 existed until I got my 3DS. You know, I just realized I was introduced to classic Mario and Sonic on the 3DS. But this video isn't about Sonic 1. It's about Sonic CD. From what I remember when I got an iPad for Christmas, I was incredibly excited. Being able to play fucking Sonic Dash on this big-ass screen was mind-blowing. I head to the App Store to look for more games. And what's this? I see Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and this strange game I've never even heard of before. Sonic CD. You may be wondering, since Sonic 2 was released in 1992, a year after the first game, and Sonic CD was released in 1993, why am I not talking about Sonic 2 first?
Fuck you.
But actually, I want Sonic 2 to be like a really big video, because I have a lot to say about it. Also, because of Sonic Origins, it's confirmed that Sonic CD is a prequel to Sonic 2. Also, I'm just lazy. I want these videos to have a bit more of a structure now, so I'm just going to talk about the story. Well, the story introduction. Little Planet. A planet that appears at the last month of every year, right under Never Lake, and Sonic is just heading to see it. Dr. Eggman recently chained the planet to a couple of mountains, as he turned it into a gigantic fortress. There was someone else who also came to see Little Planet. It was a little girl called Amy Rose. But she didn't come here to see the giant fucking planet in the sky. She came here because she got a card reading from one of her tarot cards, saying that she would meet her knight in shining armor. And I wonder who it is. I wonder who it is. I'm going to talk about this more in other Sonic videos, but there were a lot of differences between the American and Japanese story manuals in the classic games. Like, for some reason, in the American manuals of Sonic CD, Amy's called Princess Sally. The Western team probably did this because Sally was an established character in the Sonic Sat AM cartoon, and maybe they wanted to tie it into the games for some reason. Or maybe it was just a localization error. As we're going to see throughout this series, localization errors are going to be a very, very big problem. At the end of the day, it's just your standard platformer. Go through the 7 zones of Little Planet and stop Eggman. But I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Oh, wait a minute! After its release on the Sega CD, it wasn't really that available to most people until it got re-released on the PC and the Gems Collection. For this video, I played the original Sonic CD on the Gems Collection. Emulated. And I'm gonna say this right here, I don't like Sonic CD. Well, I don't like the original Sonic CD. To me, it's on par with Sonic 1 when it comes to its quality. So, in my opinion, just don't play this version. There are many other versions that I'm going to talk about later that are better, like Origins, the 2012 remaster, or the Decompilation. For most of this review, I am just going to be talking about the 2012 remaster on Steam. Also, real quick, because Sega fucking sucks, you can't buy it on Steam anymore. It's fucking stupid. There's also Sonic CD Restored, which again I will talk about later in the video as well. Starting off the game, we get a cool new opening. Something looks off here. Why is the video all zoomed in? And the top and bottom are cropped as well. I took the video files from Sonic CD Restored to show you how it's supposed to look like. And you can really see the differences when you put them together side by side. I can only assume they did this because they wanted the entire game to be in full screen, but it just makes all the cutscenes blurry and zoomed in, with a lot of the picture being cut out. Besides that, this is a really fucking cool opening.
chance, 'cause there is no circumstance that you can't handle when you use your mind. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom, keeps you running faster. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom, save the planet from disaster. To the light, it's a supersonic flight, gotta keep it going. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom, keeps you running faster. Sonic boom, sonic boom, save the planet from disaster. Sonic boom, sonic boom, spinning through a world in motion. Sonic boom, sonic boom.
The opening, ending, and credit animations were made by the Japanese studio Toei Animation. And man, I gotta give them so much credit. These cutscenes are some of the best things to have ever been made for this franchise. They're pretty simple, but they're also incredibly stylish. It's a perfect example of what classic Sonic is. I want to talk about these animations a little bit more, but we still have an entire game to cover, so I'll save this for later. The game has 7 zones: Palm Tree Panic, Collision Chaos, Tidal Tempest, Quartz Quadrant, Wacky Workbench, Stardust Speedway, and Metallic Madness Zone. Saving the level design for later. By God, these stages look great. Palm Tree Panic is your standard Green Hill Zone. The green palm trees, the yellowish brown checkered floorboard patterns, the blue skies, it's pretty standard for the start of the game. But it still looks really nice. Not much to say. It's simple, clean, and colorful. Everything a Sonic level should be. Thumbs up. And hey, Amy even waits for you at the end of the level to hug Sonic. Collision Chaos. Okay, where to start? Just like Spring Yard Zone in the last game, this feels like a beta Casino Night Zone, with all of the goddamn bumpers everywhere. I think this level really stands out in your mind with its bright pink color palette and all the neon signs everywhere. Tidal Tempest has a really cool background. The volcano is exploding in the distance. I kinda love the piss color filter the level uses. It really makes it stand out compared to the other water levels in Sonic games, and just other games in general. While Quartz Quadrant is a pretty forgettable level in my eyes, I think this cave aesthetic is pretty cool. Well, I mean, besides that, there isn't really much to say about this level aesthetically or gameplay wise, which I'll get into later in the video. I'll talk about you later. I have a lot to say about this level. Stardust Speedway is easily the best looking level in the game. When it comes to how the level is designed, it's kind of a clusterfuck. But god damn, I love how it looks. It will never be not funny when I look at the platforms and loops in this level, and they're just big golden metallic trumpets. The background is just perfect. The big purple buildings are a great contrast to the yellow platforms. I just can't tell you how much I love this level, aesthetically. I don't really care for Metallic Madness. It's just a very boring level to look at and play. A very forgettable looking finale for a Sonic game. Well, it's better than Scrap Brain from the last game. Overall, this game just looks phenomenal. Although most of my footage comes from the 2012 remaster, just looking from some old footage, some YouTube videos, and playing the original version myself, it really shows how powerful the Sega CD was. Presentation-wise, every level in Sonic CD topped Sonic 1 in my opinion. But we're far from done from how these levels play, of course. We need to talk about that as well, obviously. And we'll get into that, well, right now. In the original Sonic CD, he feels just about how he is in Sonic 1, meaning he still kind of plays like shit. But hey, we still got the spin dash. Okay, let's just move back to the Steam version. Obviously, we keep the momentum gimmick from the last game, with a new addition to the moveset. When I was a little lad, a stupid, dumb little boy, I thought the sewer payload was bad. I thought it sucked. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was dog shit. I mean, what was the point of using this? Sure, it made you go faster, but you'll just boost yourself into enemies and get hurt or even die. Why not just use the spin dash? It's easier to control and you won't get hurt because you're in a ball. The super peel out sucks. This was my mindset at the time, but through the years, after playing this game over and over and over and over again, I have learned something about this move. Something very simple. So simple that you would have to be a fucking dumbass to not figure out. As you can see, I was one of those dumbasses. After you release, immediately hold down and curl or jump into a ball. Sure, this doesn't protect you from spikes, but by that point, it's your fault you got hurt. This move gives a real risk-reward system when platforming. The super peel out is one of the best movement tools in the entire franchise. Instead of holding down and mashing the jump button, you do the opposite. You hold up while mashing the jump button. And once you release, you gain a massive boost of speed. If you're not using it the right place or time, you'll easily hurt yourself or even die. Spin dash is a safer option. It's much easier to dodge enemies and obviously not get hurt, but it's slower. The super peel out is much better at keeping your speed and momentum, at the cost of being much harder to control. I love this move so much, and I think it's a shame that more 2D Sonic games do not have the super peel out. It is an incredible move that I love so much. But it doesn't matter how good a moveset is. If the level design is shit, then it's not going to be fun to play. Going back into Palm Tree Panic, I think the level makes a very good impression on the player on how the other levels are designed in the game. I love Green Hill, it's a great level, but it's pretty horrible about teaching the player about how the entire game is going to be. That being said, Palm Tree Panic is still a really fun, simple level. Collision Chaos. Oh boy. I know I just said Palm Tree Panic is very good about teaching the player about how the entire game is going to be, and that's mostly true. I don't hate Collision Chaos, but fuck, it's really annoying. Small spoilers for the Sonic 2 and 3 reviews, but I sorta hate Casino Night Zone and Carnival Night Zone. Whenever I see bumpers in a Sonic game, it almost completely ruins every fucking level they're in. Stuff like this just kills the pacing of levels when I'm just bouncing around everywhere. It sucks so much because these fucking bumpers are usually put in the most colorful and vibrant levels. Collision Chaos is an okay level, barely passable in my eyes. Honestly, the best part about this level is in the beginning, where Amy gets kidnapped by Tidal Tempest is actually a really fun level. Water levels in Sonic games, and just most games in general, tend to be pretty shit. Tidal Tempest manages to defy these stereotypes by actually being fun. I know, crazy, right? Fucking unheard of. It's not perfect, it is still a water level, and that means there are a lot of slow sections. But unlike Labyrinth Zone, instead of a 20-80 ratio of land to water, it's more of a 50-50 split. Oh my god! Going fast in a Sonic game? Holy shit, I've never seen that before! And now, moving on to Quartz Quadrant. I don't really hate the stage. I mean, it does have a pretty fun gimmick, being that there are a bunch of conveyor belts everywhere, with some of them having switches to turn them back and forth. Although I think the stage is pretty decent, it's kind of forgettable compared to all of the other levels. As soon as I beat the boss, I immediately get fucking neuralized by the time the next level starts.
Sorry.
I know I said it a while ago, but Stardust Speedway is the best looking level in the entire game. But when it comes to how it plays, it's kind of a clusterfuck. God damn, I love how this level looks. I love the art design of Stardust Speedway, but this level sucks. It fucking sucks. It's just so ass! It's far from what I call a horrible level. Hell, it's not even the worst level in the entire game. As I said before, the stage looks great. It looks amazing. But it's kind of hard to tell what's a platform and what's just part of the background. There's just a bunch of springs and boost pads randomly placed around the level. And you just know how much I love getting my controls taken away from me. You know how much I love getting fucking bounced around, completely killing the pace of the level.
This game is fair as
Metallic Madness sucks dick. Okay, I'm over exaggerating. It's an okay level. But for the final few acts in the entire game, I kinda neglected to talk about a big gimmick of the game. Yeah, I forgot to talk about time travel. But I will get into it. But first, we need to talk about it. Wacky Workbench. Wacky fucking Workbench. Never in my life have I seen a level as atrocious as this one. Okay, before I get a goddamn migraine, I want to talk about the positives. Yeah, the positives. For one, it looks nice. Okay, that's about it. Okay, where do we start? You can't navigate the bottom of the floor because it just bounces you up, bashing your head into the ceiling and enemies. We have these electric currents, which on their own aren't too bad, but combined with the bouncing floor, makes it fucking agonizing. There's these things, I didn't even look them up, I don't even know what they are, but they freeze you in place. Even the small platforms are fucked up. Some of them lock you in a spinning motion, making it harder to make precise jumps. Okay, I'm done bitching now. Wacky Workbench is one of the worst levels in a 2D Sonic game, one of the worst levels in a Sonic game in general, and overall, just one of the worst levels in a video game that I've ever played. I hope that the person that designed this level gets into their bed, finds one of the absolute best sleeping positions in existence, but they have to get up to pee. And when they go back into bed, they can never find that position, having to sleep uncomfortably the entire night, knowing that if they didn't forget to pee before going to bed, they wouldn't be so uncomfortable. Okay, I think I'll move on now. I'll just leave this level alone. For now. The bosses suck. Moving on. So, look, I had this whole section on bosses and stuff, but to be honest, who cares? They all suck. They're all pretty terrible, honestly. Except for that treadmill one. I like that one. It's pretty funny. I like that one. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting about the game. Something very important to the core gameplay and story of Sonic CD. Oh, right! The big gimmick of the game. In every level, there are multiple signs that say past and future, which allow you to travel, well, to the past and future. Once you go past one of these signs, you'll have the speed to travel to the future or the past. It's hard to keep your speed in some situations, because if you lose your momentum when running or just hitting a wall, you'll lose your chance of time travel and you'll have to find a new sign. On the bright side, most levels have these small little sections which I like to call time machines. Most of the time it usually consists of two springs next to each other, but time machines don't just have to be springs. It just has to be a section or the gimmick of a level that can help you build up speed fast. When you go into the past, you'll find these robot generators that can help you get the good ending. Or you could just go for something else. Just like in Sonic 1, if you hold on to 50 rings by the end of the level, you can enter a special ring, entering one of 7 special zones. Okay, I've been very conflicted on this. When I was younger, I loved these special stages. They weren't great, but hey, they were better than Sonic 1's. But as I got older, I started to absolutely hate these. Whenever I came back to play Sonic CD, I dreaded having to do one of these when I wanted to get the good ending of the game. But now, when coming back to play these for this video, I don't know, they're okay, I guess. They have a 3D perspective. You need to destroy all the UFOs in each stage to gain a time stone. The biggest problem is the perspective of each stage. Because of this, there are times where you just overshoot or undershoot your jump because of how off it feels. Luckily, all the UFOs have a set pattern they take, so eventually you can catch them all. Overall, they're better than Sonic 1, but that's not a high bar to clear. If you don't want to spend your time on stupid glowing gems, you could just look for all the robot generators. I believe it's the best way to play Sonic CD. There are 2 significant ways to go through the game. Basic bitch platforming, which is still pretty fun, or you can explore the levels. If you destroy every robot generator in every level, you get the good ending. I kinda think that's why you can go from the end of a level all the way back to the beginning. I think searching for generators is really fun, for most of the levels. Most of the generators are placed in pretty fun, simple, and unique placements in the level, but some of them God damn it. God damn it, I gotta talk about Wacky Workbench again. I promise you, this is my last complaint. I'm sorry. I really hate this level. For some reason, it takes longer to time travel in the PC version than it did in the original CD version. Combining that with the bouncy floor and almost no way to get enough speed to time travel, it makes Act 1's generator excruciating to get. Oh, and it gets worse. Of course, there's a hidden one in the level where you can barely stand without getting hit or bounced. Okay, stay with me on this one. Once you time travel, you gotta make your way all the way to the top of the level. Okay, so you see this big crusher here, right? Now, if you've played a video game, or you're not a fucking dumbass, you think it would kill you, right? Right? I can't with this fucking dog shit level! Okay. Besides that, I think hunting for generators is really fun, and it makes me appreciate how colorful these levels look. Oh, I missed one. That's fine. I got the good feature in Act 2. So, I'm good, right? Although there's a lot of problems with the level design, because a lot of levels are just big, messy clusterfucks, I still heavily enjoyed my multiple playthroughs way more than Sonic 1. I think the time travel gimmick is really unique and cool, but it feels very underutilized. Time traveling to the future is sort of useless when it comes to getting the good ending, and when it comes to gameplay, it's really underwhelming. Well, in gameplay. You'll see what I mean later. The physics and momentum of Sonic are tweaked just right to make him control much better than he did in the last game. If only the level design was better. If only. If only. If only. If only. If only. I don't really know how to critique music. If I think it sounds good, I think it sounds good. Sonic CD has an incredible soundtrack. Soundtracks. Wait, there are two soundtracks? Yeah, for some reason, Sonic CD has a Japanese and American soundtrack. And I don't really know why. Sonic 1 didn't have two soundtracks. Hell, most games don't have two soundtracks. You know, it's kind of weird. I'm not gonna talk about every track in the game, because combining both the Japanese and US soundtracks, that's over 60 songs, and I actually want to finish making this video. So I'm just gonna talk about some songs I particularly like and don't like. I fucking love Sonic Boom, a very bombastic song for the opening, and what I'm pretty sure is the first vocal Sonic song.
If you're strong, you can fly, you can reach the other side of the rainbow. It's alright, take a chance, 'cause there is no circumstance that you can't handle. When you use your mind, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom keeps you running fast. Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, save the planet from disaster.
Japanese Planetary Panic is just really good. Very fast-paced and bouncy. Title Tempest starts off pretty eerie, but as soon as the drums and pianos come in, it stays at a pretty slow tempo. It gives off a mysterious and nostalgic feeling. I mean, it's a water level. Of course it has good music. US Title Tempest is really weird. It has a lot more funk to it. It's very different compared to the Japanese one's slow and quiet feeling, and it even has vocals. It does not fit this level at all, but I like it more. Remember when I said I'd stop talking about Wacky Workbench? I lied. Since the level is much farther into the game, it's much more electronic compared to the past songs. Eggman's presence is much stronger here than something in like Palm Tree Panic. The song's also just really catchy. It's probably one of my favorites. Again, the US tracks do not fit these levels at all, but they're still really good. Fucking Home Depot, fuck your Home Depot sound. Man, I'm surprised they went through Wacky Workbench without complaining like a bitch and actually complimented it a little bit. The level still sucks dick. I need to talk about the boss tracks. The Japanese one is very funky and mechanical, but it has a sense of unease.
Earth-trimming, fit, bold, rain, cold, hot, distance, little.
So, what does the US version sound like? Well... I don't hate this version. Heck, I kinda like it. But why? Why does it sound like this? I highly recommend listening to both soundtracks. I forgot to mention this during the gameplay portion, but because of the time travel gimmick of going back to the future and past, there are 7 zones in the game. That's 21 levels in all. But each of those acts have a past, future, present, and good future. That means overall, this game has 84 levels, and all versions of the level have 4 different tracks. We have 7 levels, all with 4 variations, coming from 2 completely different soundtracks. I don't know, that's just kind of crazy to me. Overall, music good. Now then, wait, I feel like there's something I missed. A very specific music track, and something or someone very important. Oh, I think it's time to talk about him. fan savior, Metal Sonic. His design is just perfect, a true lookalike of our hero. He's just so fucking cool, man. I'm a huge fan of the doppelganger / rebel trope, and a hero needing a dark reflection of themselves is something I just really find captivating. The Sonic series will later continue this rebel thing multiple times in the future. They'll do it again, and 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 again. But they'll never top the king, baby! Our precious little boy appears in Act 1 of Collision Chaos by breaking through the spikes and kidnapping Amy. And he doesn't appear until Act 3 of Stardust Speedway, one of the last 4 acts of the game. God damn it. It's time to talk about Metal Sonic's boss fight. It's not my favorite because it's the best and most well-designed and fun boss. Well, it is. But it's not just the gameplay that makes me love this boss so much. Stardust Speedway Bad Future is just incredible. The level and the song, the dark red clouds, the purple lights on the buildings, the lightning in the background, combined with an overall gloomy and dark color palette, really sets the stage for a climatic final battle. And the goddamn music. What an excellent track. The menacing sirens in the background and the... that's sprinkled throughout the song. And that piano, man! All of this combined makes an excellent background track for a deadly race. Speaking of which, I know I was done talking about the gameplay, but again, this is such a fun fight, or rather a fun race. We start at the beginning of the stage, with Eggman just behind you shooting his pistol laser on the ground, showing to both Sonic and the player that if you lose this race or fuck up too many times, it's over. Eggman wins. The super palette really shines here, being able to blast through the stage and keep it with Metal, as well as a bunch of obstacles in the way such as spikes and big walls that block you. Metal attacks you with a ring spark field, creating an electric barrier around him that hurts Sonic on contact. If you're outrunning him, Metal uses a move called V Maximum Overdrive Attack. Look, I've never heard of these fucking names before. I'm just looking up all this shit on the wiki. I mean, it's a cool name though. Once you make it to the finish line, a gate closes, with Metal fucking crashing into the wall and destroying himself in the process. You free and save Amy, and next level. What the hell? Okay, Metal was in multiple commercials. He kidnapped Amy very early. The game, the marketing, everything was setting him up as a big threat for the entire game. He's even on the Japanese, European, and American box arts. Right there, front and center. And he's only in 2 levels. One of them being a cutscene, and the other one being a minute-long level. My biggest problem with Metal is that he's severely underutilized in this game. And trust me, this is gonna be a problem with Metal Sonic. But let's not talk about that. We can save that for later videos. I love Metal Sonic. He's one of my favorite Sonic characters. He's the best Sonic character. He's the best character in fiction. Objectively the best. But if you disagree with me on that's okay. It's your opinion. Oh, also, real quick, could you check your mailbox for just a quick second? We're at the end of the game with Metallic Madness Act 3 and its final boss, which both suck dick. Sonic destroys the egg spinner, finally stopping Eggman's plan, and he saves the day. He grabs Amy while escaping, and we're treated to a final cutscene. And that's it. We beat the game, but something feels off. Wait. I got the bad ending? Well, since I missed one generator, my entire playthrough was null and void. Okay. Let's say you did get all the time stones or the robot generators. What do you get? Sonic's face appears on top of Little Planet, it floats away, and then Sonic does a cool pose. And you see some flowers after the credits. What the fuck? Why is the bad ending cooler? You have this cute little scene of Sonic hurling a rock at Eggman, causing him to crash and die. Okay, I'm just nitpicking at this point. Either way, I'm mostly satisfied with how this game ends, with a beautifully animated cutscene. But we're not quite done with the game yet. The Sonic series, like most franchises, has changed a lot throughout its 30-year lifespan, when it comes to its gameplay and theming, or rather its message as well. In the early years of the franchise, mainly Sonic 1 and 2, it had one main message: nature versus technology. I debated myself whether I should put this here, or I should just make a separate video after I finished all the classic Sonic games. But I think it's best to add it here, because the environmental message of Sonic is, in Sonic CD, at its strongest and most important. When going into the future, you can see how Eggman completely roboticized the entire zone. It shows how far Eggman is willing to go to get his selfish desires, completely destroying this lush, colorful planet. Sonic 1 had this environmental storytelling as well, Eggman kidnapping these little animals to use them as batteries for his badniks. Going through the levels, they slowly get more and more mechanical and technological. The nature versus technology message is even more prominent in CD. And Sonic the Hedgehog, TM, is, at this point in the series, a force of nature, like the wind. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being super pretentious right now, but like, come on, they beat you over the head with this kind of stuff. But what I love about the theming in this point in the series, it's not just technology le bad. When you go back to the past and destroy the robot generators, and go back to the present, and then go back to the future, you don't just have a technological nightmare or a land full of flowers. It's a beautiful mix of technology and nature. Sonic being able to truly beat Eggman paves the way to a truly great future. That is classic Sonic's message. Fuck. Okay, are we done? Are we fucking done? Oh, okay, nope, I wrote more. Okay, we're not done. We're not fucking done. Of course we're not. The 2012 remaster has a lot of quality of life improvements and extras that really made this version, at the time, the best way to experience Sonic CD. Obviously, the game being in widescreen is a big plus. We have this stylized menu that looks really cool. You can choose between the Japanese and US soundtracks, and you can choose what version of Spin Dash you want to use. And it even has achievements. You know, stuff like traveling through time, getting a hug from Amy, beating the game, getting all the time stones, simple stuff like that. We even have one where we have to complete Time Attack in under 25 minutes. Speaking of which, I'm not really going to talk about Time Attack right now. I'll probably save it for when I'm done talking about the 2D Sonic games. But all I'll say now is, Time Attack is the very reason why I love 2D Sonic games so much. It is something you need to experience at least once when playing these games. The 2012 remaster is incredible, and I could not recommend it enough. But there's just one tiny problem. You can't buy it anymore. When Origins was announced, the original classic Sonic games were delisted, and that includes the 2012 remaster. And to be honest, it's a really scummy move on Sega's part. But hey, Origins isn't that bad. It's a fine way to play the classic Sonic games, and that's all I'll say about it for now. But if you want to play Sonic CD in the best way possible, you got two options. The decompilation of Sonic CD is really simple, but really cool as well. It's essentially just an expanded version of the Steam and mobile port. And it's also moddable. Stuff like giving Sonic a few new moves and even a new playable character. A strange red character. The decompilation is really cool and a great way to experience the game. But I think there's another version you should play.
Holy moly.
This is it. The definitive way to play Sonic CD. A few more gameplay options, a customizable music, and being able to play all versions of the levels just by choosing it in another menu. And Amy's even playable. Oh, and you can mod it as well. It's just so good, man. I love Sonic CD. It's wonderful art style, fantastic music, a great way of getting its message and story across, and mostly smooth gameplay. I can't help but love it. Sure, it has its problems, having some confusing and downright awful level design at points. Not compared to the first game, but still. And heavily underutilizing Metal Sonic. But I'd still say the good outweighs the bad for me. I think Sonic City is a pretty damn good game. Like a 7 at the very least. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
I'm a sharpshooter at post masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw.